Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome everyone here today. It's February 16th. This is one of our regular monthly meetings. We'll start off today with our prayer and our pledge, and today we'll have Commissioner Green to lead us in our prayer, and we'll have Commissioner Gardner to lead us in the pledge. We'll rise, please.
Father, we come to you today to thank you for your blessings and your mercies. We thank you for health and strength that you allowed us to wake with today to carry out our business and go about our daily tasks. We pray that you'll put your protection over the men and women from the Sheriff's Office that are here with us today. We pray, Father, that you'll protect them in everything that they do. Help us to carry on the business today for the best of the citizens of McDowell County. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Attention, salute, and pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I've had a chance to review the agenda today. Do I hear a motion to?
So moved.
Any additions, corrections? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. First on the agenda today is under appointments will be item A, and it's recognition of Sheriff's Office staff. So we've got our Honorable Sheriff here with us today. So the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the board, thank you for allowing me to be here. Mr. County Manager, I was contacted by the board in regards to a recent operation that the Sheriff's Office conducted called Operation Winter Freeze. From early November through January, the McDowell County Sheriff's Office Community Impact Team successfully carried out a targeted initiative known as Operation Winter Freeze. The effort was designed to disrupt illegal drug activity throughout McDowell County and resulted in significant seizures and numerous arrests. And I stand here today to talk about that initiative several years ago that I approached the board about, myself and Chief Deputy Nathan Mace, with the initiative of creating this community impact team and how that team would be focusing on these areas throughout the county that we have high call volumes. We have reported of a higher number of potential drug issues, and not just drugs, but the higher number of complaints, period. And that's what this community impact team does. We were very selective in the process of the members that we chose for this community impact team, and I am extremely proud of them and what they're doing to try to enhance and promote safety in McDowell County. As far as Operation Winter Freeze, I'd like to point out that during this, we had 32 drug-related arrests during this time, which included also warrant services. We had 3 firearm-related arrests and 22 actual individuals charged. This is a direct reflection of the hard work and dedication put in by these detectives on a daily basis. And not just the detectives, but I also want to recognize the supervisors of that unit. This is a recently created unit, our Special Operations Division at the Sheriff's Office, and that's led by Captain Chris Taylor, Lieutenant Richie Pittman. And I also want to bring the recognition to them, and also along with that community impact team. If you guys will come on up with me. You've got Captain Chris Taylor, Lieutenant Richie Pittman, Detective Matt Smith, Detective Jordan Cox, Detective Adam Burnett, and Detective Gabe Udy. These 4 guys right here are your community impact team. And I'll be honest with you, they do a heck of a job. They're out there, boots on the ground,
dealing with issues that other people do not want to deal with. And they are fearless, they're dedicated and committed to serving McDowell County. And a lot of times, unfortunately, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do for our families, but we all know what that's like. A lot of times this comes first and other things come second. But these men are dedicated, they've done a great job, and I appreciate the recognition and the opportunity for me to recognize them in front of you today. And I want you to know you can be proud of these men right here. Between mushrooms, marijuana, crack cocaine, methamphetamine, fentanyl, heroin, pills, we were able to, they recovered a stolen vehicle, they recovered a stolen moped, and again, several arrests during the process. So thank you for the opportunity to recognize.
They recovered a stolen golf cart above my house, I believe, didn't they?
Is that right? At some point, I'm not sure if that was during the Operation Winter Freeze, but they've been doing a lot, but specific to this operation, that's our results so far, and there's more to come. And you can imagine in the future we're going to be wanting to add to this team as well. And I think there's another partner who's we've had another partner or two that's not here, the four-legged partners. And they have been reassigned as well, but we're waiting to add that addition to the community impact team in the very near future. So with the cooperation and with the help from the commissioners, we will continue to enhance and improve this team and make it grow so that we can serve more communities throughout this county simultaneously. So I entertain any questions or any comments?
I just want to say thank you guys for all you do. You guys get into the dirt and the grime of the county, and you know, I know you put your physical bodies at risk many times, and you're out there where nobody else wants to be. And so on behalf of me, and I know certainly the rest of this board, I really appreciate it. And Mr. Wooden, I'd like to, and I'm sure everybody would agree with this, that we get a special letter of recognition to go to each and every one of these boys.
And Mr. Chairman, I'm doing that too, though. Just think about the numbers you gave, Sheriff. By the work you men have done getting these drug dealers off the street, no telling how many lives you've impacted by stopping them from their ability to get those drugs out. So thanks for that.
Ever since I've known Chris Taylor, he's been hunting dope somewhere. And to the rest of you guys, you've got a good leader there. I appreciate everything that y'all do. It don't go unnoticed.
And for the record, I know the answer to this, but I do want to say our Sheriff's Department cooperates with ICE. Correct, Sheriff?
Yes, sir.
All right. For the record.
We work and cooperate with all law enforcement groups, yeah.
Fantastic.
Ms. Carter?
I just want to say thank you. What most of you all do not know is part of those 22 arrests, you arrested people that directly affected my children, my adopted children. And that is something I am indebted to you all for. When I saw the arrests come through my phone when I was watching the video, I actually reached out to the sheriff and put peace of mind in my heart that we had some things going on in my home, and part of some problems that we were having in my home, you all arresting those drug dealers and getting them off the road put a peace in my personal home with my children, and I cannot thank you all enough for that. I really can't thank you enough for that.
I just want to say thanks so much for you putting yourselves out there. I know that there's been a few times that my family's contacted the Sheriff's Department, and they have always exceeded expectations. And from watching my elderly parents to helping out with one of my sons to but the community itself in this case, where you're getting drugs out of the hands of potential people that haven't ever used them before and then ODing and stuff like that, it's just it's a big deal. And thank you so much for what you do.
And while we recognize specifically the community impact team, I've got to tell you, it's a joint effort. And all of our men and women at the sheriff's office contribute to this. Contribute to whether it's backing up this team, whether it's handling something else while these guys focus on this mission. All the men and women put their lives on the line for the people of McDowell County and those traveling through every day. And I could not be more proud to stand alongside with all of our members of the sheriff's office family. And also working collectively and jointly with our district attorney's office, with Ted Bell and his office, to not only be there to discuss how we're going to put these cases together, but actually have the prosecution moving forward. And some of these have already been adjudicated. So it's a huge collective effort. But today we specifically recognize this community impact team.
Well, thank you, and also we'd like to thank you and Nathan for the leadership that you men have certainly showed. We know they appreciate you, and we do too, and so thank you all.
Anything you got?
No, I just want to say, again, to reiterate what Sheriff Buchanan said, thank you to the board for when we approached about this initiative moving forward years ago. And this is just a small sample of the success that this team has had moving since it's been initiated. What this was over a set time frame, and you get to see the numbers and what all has transpired during that time. But that's not to account for the day in, day out that has been going on for years that we put out on social media or not on social media, that you see the stops and the arrests that these guys have made over the years. And to be able to do this, we just wanted to be able to highlight this specific mission, and there's going to be more of that moving forward. But these guys are in the grind every day. I couldn't be more supportive of them and thankful for what they do day in and day out. And of course, like Vice Chair Green just said, Captain Taylor was a no-brainer to put over this squad when we came up with this squad, and his history of what he's done for our office and the community, and we just want to see it continue to grow and move forward. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's give them another hand.
Do you want a picture?
You guys want to stand up?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna get
y'all come up here. Hey, let them just come right up here, right around here in front of us, David. And we'll just stay where we're at.
That's good.
Thank you.
Good move. When you moved, you had to.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next on the agenda today is item B, which will be the Human Service update. And we have Ms. Sarah Brewer here with us today, our Human Service Director.
Good morning, Commissioners, and Mr. Wooten and Ms. Robinson. I hope that you guys are all well. Thanks for letting me come and talk to you today. I want to follow up the last time that we were here, we were talking about foster care and rates for children in group foster care. To follow up on that, I did reach out to Ebenezer Children's Ministries. We, because of the weather, we weren't able to connect. We had to reschedule our appointment. But I was able to talk to her about us placing children in that home, primarily McDowell County foster children, and she was super receptive to that and has said that she would give the county a 3% discount on any child that we place in her county, which is great. Not only that, but the benefit is that the children will stay in McDowell County. They have better access to visits with their parents and those kind of things. So I'm really looking forward to partnering with them to help place our children within the county. Also, you know, I talked a little bit about our goal to increase foster parents in the county. We currently have 8 families who are enrolled and taking the class right now. We have such big plans for recruitment to try to get more foster parents, as I shared with you last time. And I'm going to be bringing more information about our plans closer to the springtime. Any questions about foster care services? Follow-up questions? I wanted to talk to you guys about something that is on my mind that's going to affect economic services. I know that you probably have heard about and been reading about HR 1. Those changes will significantly impact McDowell County beginning October 2026. The reimbursement rate for food and nutrition benefits will decrease from 50% down to 25%. That will take place this October 2026. Finance estimates that in the year 2027, because of this reduction, it will impact McDowell County at $249,000, which is a very significant impact for our county.
Sarah, how many employees do we have in that department?
I don't have that number right off the top of my head. We are down 7 positions in economic services, though, I do know that.
Yep.
With open positions, 7. I don't know the number of employees. I apologize.
That's okay. I was just wondering how many that totaled, 249?
In addition to that, just with the food nutrition, the reduced rate for that, there's going to be changes in 2027 for Medicaid. So essentially what they're doing in January of 2027 is that certain people, about 3,900 residents in McDowell County receive a certain type of Medicaid. It's called expanded Medicaid. You may remember that you guys funded some of those positions a couple of years ago when the state decided they wanted to expand Medicaid. But what's going to change is with HR 1, they are going to have requirements for these people who take advantage of this Medicaid. And so now they're going to have to prove that they've applied for 6 jobs within a 6-month period. They're going to have to prove that they have tried to have certain community engagement if they're not going to seek active employment. They have to basically show the agency through proof that they are seeking employment, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's a good thing because we want there to be some sort of goal for employment. But what it's going to do is it's going to impact the way that we do things. It's going to make the workloads at our office so much broader. They're going to be needing to, instead of verifying their Medicaid once a year, they're going to have to do it every 6 months. They are going to have to check that employment. They're going to have to dig into, if they were offered a job, why they didn't take it. We now are also having to verify citizenship, which is something that we didn't do before, which is, that was kind of shocking to me. But this recertification of that specific type of Medicaid is going to increase our workloads, substantially increase our workloads. I don't necessarily view these changes as entirely negative, but they will have a meaningful impact on our economic services division. I am actively in a lot of meetings regarding HR 1 and the implementation of the changes that are coming. And I will be working with finance and Mr. Wooten to prepare for these changes that are coming. I know that, as I told Ms. Gardner, we're down 7 positions, and our goal is to make sure that those positions are filled prior to October, so that way we can be fully staffed with what we have in order to see if we can make it work with these changes, not to have to make more jobs, but there could be a need for more positions in the Economic Services Department as a result of that. And that is the information that I have regarding HR 1. Are there any questions about that?
What kind of qualifications are required for jobs in economic services?
You have to have a high school diploma.
Just a high school diploma?
Yes, sir. We do on-the-job training.
Okay.
Anyone else?
We do have 7 interviews this week for that department, so that's very positive.
Wow.
Very
Good.
positive.
Okay. All right. No questions. Thank you, Ms. Brewer.
Thank you all.
Next on the agenda, item C is the FY 2025 Independent Auditor's Presentation from Thompson, Price, Scott, Adams and Company. So the floor is yours, sir.
Well, good morning. Thank you for allowing our firm to do the audit. You should have a copy of the audit report in front of you. I'm going to jump from the smaller book so I can finish quick. If you'd be kind enough to flip over to page 1, there's a few things I have to kind of go through before we talk about numbers. The main thing you do hire us as the independent audit firm to do is issue an opinion on the financial statements as a whole. We issue an unmodified report, which is a quote-unquote good report, the best you can get. So as far as we're concerned, all is well, things are good. On page 1, you see our responsibility in relationship to the financial statement audit. It talks about the engagement letter signed, our responsibility under professional standards to not give absolute assurance, but material assurance about the financial statements and to communicate any significant matters related to the audit. And I believe we did that. There's, on page 2 at the top, there's 2 things we always identify as risk: management override of controls and improper revenue recognition. We perform tests around those items to make sure we're good with those, and we did perform the test and we were good with them, and there were no issues, and so that's good news. Under significant accounting policies, GASB Statement 101 was the new one this year, because it feels like every year there's something that changes. I'm not sure it always enhances the financial statement, but it does change it so somebody somewhere keeps their job. Sorry, I'm sarcastic about all this, so I apologize.
You're probably truthful about it.
Basically what that did for simplicity purposes, took sick leave, which has always just been a number out there, quantified it on the amount that wasn't going to be used for retirement, wasn't going to be used while they were, or wasn't going to just disappear when they left service, etc., and put it on the balance sheet. Not sure it had a lot of value because everybody knew what the number was, but that's what it did. Under significant accounting estimates, whether it's allowance for doubtful accounts, compensated absence, depreciation, we evaluated all those. We were good with all those. Under financial statement disclosures, we were good that they were neutral, consistent, and clear. There were no difficulties encountered in performing the audit. There were no uncorrected misstatements, no disagreements with management. And then on page 3, management did provide us with a representation letter dated January 20th. We're unaware that management consulted outside accountants, auditors, etc. And then under other significant matters, findings, issues, etc. There were a few things, Medicaid, there were some technical findings there, no question cost. There were some other things as it related to SBITAs, which is subscription-based information technology agreements, stuff like that, putting them on the books, moving a big item between funds, between general fund or government-wide statements and business-type activities. Much more accounting than real impact to the financial statements. But we do have to say they are there, and you do have to respond to them. And but as far as things to be concerned about, no. And that's all. I'm gonna leave that alone unless you've got something else you want to talk about on that. And I'll say that to say, traditionally when I've presented audit, I really never talk about the government-wide financial statements because I don't think that's how you govern. You govern based on the fund financial statements where you adopt a budget, you track expenditures that way. The difference between the government-wide financial statements really is all related to the general or governmental type funds, and where they take those and they convert them to business type activity funds. Nobody ever looks at that unless it's a bond agent in New York or somebody else like that. So I'm not excluding something that I think is valuable to you. I just think it's not something that you use on a regular basis. On page 5, what we attempt to do here is pull out some of the key numbers. I'm not saying these are all the key numbers in the audit report, and then put the 4 prior year numbers right beside it. So when I talk about general fund balance at 34 million, it's not a number that there's no, you can't put in context. You can look at the 4 prior years and go, okay, I see where we are. So to go from 16,622,000 in 21 up to $34 million in 25, that's a big deal. And it's a very positive trend as well. Unavailable fund balance at 9.4 million, restricted committed at 12,941,000, total general fund expenditures at 67.3 million. Fund balance available as a percentage at 36.52%. You can see well that's a very positive number. The reason we put that number in there is because if you ever go to debt committee at the LGC State Treasurer's Office, that's one of the numbers they're going to look at along with some other key numbers like your collection percentage, which it is. Your collection percentage is excellent on your taxes. You can see revenues over and under expenses before transfers at 4.8 million. In the general fund, waste disposal is a minus 1.4. Water fund is a minus 135, and the universal fund is a positive 147,000. You can see depreciation and amortization expense for those three funds there. Next on your line, and then total fixed assets, accumulated depreciation in cash in the water fund. Then it lists the cash in each of the funds. In the general fund, 26.7, and then I'm not going to read every single one of those. The one thing I would say when we look back up at the waste disposal and the water fund, the thing you want to make sure in there is positive cash flow, not necessarily an increase in net position, because you got to figure out depreciation or other non-cash items there that may have an impact. So you want cash to be covering your cash flow to cover your costs, but not necessarily, depreciation is a thing you can consider in that as well. Then you see the net position of each one there. Next, I'm not reading all those unless you like. And then on page 6, it has your property tax rates there at the top, your collection percentage at 99.55, which is excellent. And then total property valuation for all 5 years, and then the levy amount for all 5 years again. You can see your total debt there. This is one of the things I look at, and I think it's very positive in this situation. You can see total debt going from $25,499,000 down to $21,135,000. And when you look at the previous page and you couple that with your general fund going up, it paints a really good picture in terms of financial strength for the county. Then you see a breakdown of general fund revenues there, totaling $69,680,000, and a breakdown of your general fund expenditures at $64,862,000. On page 7, we attempt to graph and chart some of these just so it shows the trends better. Total fund balance there in blue, unavailable fund balance in red. You can see the nice trend there in the blue, which is excellent. On the bottom, you see the same positive thing there going from 20.64% up to 36.52%. And we also track the group weighted average there as well. On page 8, we attempt to show in cash and pie charts the cash balances and fund balances there. And then on the bottom, you see total cash balances being $55.3 million and total fund balances there being $75,960,000. On page 9, you can see at the top there where the collection percentage has stayed above 99% all 5 years, which is awesome. And then the group weighted average, which is below that. Little joke for me, I bragged on the tax collection or the tax department one time in the county, and I had a lady commissioner correct me and tell me how great the citizens were to keep the taxes paid, and that's where the real percentage there. So congratulations to the citizens for keeping it so high, as well as the tax department. On the bottom, you can see the debt analysis where most of the debt's related to the governmental funds. And then on page 10, we attempt to kind of chart this out just to show where your largest sources of revenue are. You can see your ad valorem taxes there making up 52.87%. The local option sales tax there making up 15.83%. And on the page 11, the same thing with expenditures, with public safety, human services, and education being the top 3 there. Page 12, if you've been in this thing a long time, you know that used to the LGC sent out what they called unit letters, and they wanted you to respond to that. Those matters I discussed earlier are listed on this page and the following page on 13, and those are the things that the finance officer will get together for you in a letter, and you'll have to read through and get comfortable and sign it and send it back to the LGC. But I'm happy to answer any questions you've got of me, not just now, but anytime. You read through the audit report on one of these cold, snowy nights and you got questions the next day, not that night, but the next day. Please feel free to give the office a call. If I happen not to be there, get my cell number, and I'll do my best to get you an answer to your question.
Okay. Okay, thanks for that report. Very
Mr.
good.
Chairman, make a motion we approve the 2025 audit report as presented.
Second.
Do we have any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
One question, Mr. Wooten. Mr. Wooten, what does the state say a county of our size, the fund balance should be at?
They actually don't have like a standard anymore. They give you, please correct me, they give you like, as stated in there, like your peer group average. It's about 50% or what, 36%. So they kind of moved away. And you always would hear 8%, and that was never really probably in stone either, but we're thankfully nowhere near that either. If that makes sense. But we're trending in the right direction. And people may ask sometimes, why do you want a fund balance at all? But why would you want one healthy? I think we saw that with Helene. Again, we took a different approach with debris management, thankfully, but the counties that contracted it out directly, several spent $10, $15 million out of the gate to help remove debris, and they're still waiting for reimbursement. And so, that's a worst case scenario, but you need to be prepared for things that you may wait to get reimbursement on from FEMA or somewhere else, or you may not get reimbursed at all. So that's a great question.
It's a good answer too. Because the other thing you want to think about is projects that you have coming down the pike that may drain, like if you have a big school project or another project that at some point, I think I did a county last week that had a $10 million down payment on a school, so that would have a dramatic impact on general fund balance. So, and the counties around here, there's one of them that is waiting on $11 million reimbursement from FEMA, so it is a big deal.
I have to say, when I first come on the board as commissioner, I didn't realize the importance of a healthy fund balance. I certainly didn't realize how important that was, but it certainly is important.
It probably has an impact on the interest rate that you pay on debt when you go to the LGC to do any projects as well. So,
the amount of money that was spent from state and federal sources during Helene would have hurt this county if we had to do that on our own right off the bat. And I'm thankful for the efforts of our county manager and William Keller working together to avoid that by having things in place ahead of time.
One ball field, Lynn, to speak to what you're saying, Sandy Andrews ball field, just to replace that field that's totally gone was what? Estimated at actually to be?
Could be $1 million.
Yeah. One ball field.
One other thing I'd like to, I believe in giving kudos where they belong, but I would like to say that Commissioner Ellis was strongly pushing a healthy fund balance from day one of his being on this board, and so I'd certainly want to recognize him on that part.
And we want to say publicly thank you to Miss Bell, because if she spent 15 cents 20 years ago, she knows where it went.
She does a great job.
She does.
Okay, thanks, sir.
thank you, I appreciate it.
Next, moving along to item 3A, item A under other business, we've got the Toad River Hazard Mitigation Plan update approval. Mr. Wooten.
Thank you. We just talked about FEMA and being prepared, and this is part of that process of being prepared. FEMA and the state require each county to have a hazard mitigation plan, and so we've had one as long as it's been required of us. But probably the last 8 or so years, we have partnered with Avery, Mitchell, and Yancey, and that's common for these plans. They can be very expensive to put together and complicated to develop, and so the state kind of prefers you work together just so they're not spending a lot of money or we're not. So I did send out about a week and a half ago the full 800-page plan to you. I'm sure you've read through every word, right? I have reviewed it, as has, more importantly, Mr. Keller and Mr. Presley on his staff, and I think it's an improvement over the current one. And so each local government in each county is being asked to approve the updates to it as of today.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the mitigation plan update.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, Mr. Wood.
Couple of admin items.
Okay, next administrative items, Mr. Wooten, go ahead.
So the first is a project budget ordinance update for the HUD Home Consortium. This is where we work with Foothills Regional Commission and the other local governments in our region on receiving HUD funding that has been spent out in the region. So you have an update there, and then a resolution authorizing the receipt and expenditure of the $100,000 NCDQ grant that we are receiving to work with the town and city on some support and regionalization partnership opportunities.
Make a motion to approve the administrative items as presented.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion to go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.1183.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are in closed session.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to come out of closed session.
Second.
All in favor say aye. We are out of closed
Motion
session.
adjourned.
Second.
Second. Aye.
All in favor? We are adjourned.